Hello. Thanks for tuning in. It's Kevin. It's Friday. It's live from lockdown. Number 51 into my second half of the first 100, I suppose. Thanks for joining me. I'll start like I always do by, oh, look at that. I stopped like I always do because I forgot to change my screen. Sorry about that. There, you got the whole intro with my Start Soon screen on. My apologies. Let's start again. I want to start by acknowledging where I sit. I'm in the village of Leith in the city of Edinburgh in the marvellous country of Scotland. And I want to acknowledge the rich history of this place and the many people who have gone before me to contribute to such a rich history that this place has. Scots and Celts and Picts and invading Romans and invading English, some of whom never left. I want to honor all the people who have gone before me and made this place the magical place that it is. And I especially want to honor the people who are still here and have made me feel so welcome and loved and a part of this community in the time that I've been here. Thanks to all of you. You know who you are. Some of you are probably listening. So off the top, that was What a Difference a Day Made. Apologies for the little flubs in the melody, especially off the top. Originally written in Spanish, originally written by a Mexican singer-songwriter by the name of Maria Greber, I think you would say her last name. A Mexican songwriter, 1934, I believe she wrote that, or at least that was published. Popularized as an American jazz tune, American songbook tune by Dinah Washington. I was reminded of it because it was playing at my good Fred Thompson's home. I went and visited Fred earlier this week, and his favorite singer is Maxine Sullivan, and he's got a great collection of Maxine Sullivan recordings, and we were listening to some of those waft through from the back room as I visited with him, and What a Difference a Day Made came on, and I thought, there's a tune that I thought I knew. I kind of know and hadn't played, so I thought I would open with that one today, because who knows what a difference a day can make. As I always do, I'll let you know that if you have an income and are able to support live music endeavors like this, donations are certainly welcome. There are notes on the side of the the Facebook page with my PayPal link and Ko-Fi link. If you're in Canada, you can send me an e-transfer directly to my email address along the bottom of the screen here. If you have any trouble and you want to make a donation, just get in touch with me. Phone and email are here. I'm always appreciative of your support, and I've got a lot of great supporters and great friends who have been really generous with me over the now more than a year that I've been doing this. And so, again, as I try to say regularly, no pressure. If you don't have an income or you can't make a donation, or if you can and you want to support somebody else this week, that's just fine. And stick around and enjoy the art. That's really what this is about. I'm going to play a mix of a couple of tunes I've done before, a couple of dedications, and some new things. I don't think I've played this tune. I kind of put this show together last minute this week because I had a couple of other gigs. Thanks to those of you who tuned into my live stream with my favorite Scottish singer, Susanna MacDonald, on Wednesday. And I thought I'd do this one because I thought, there's an easy little blues that I can play. And then I started to work it out today, and it's not so easy to make this melody happen. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Here we are. This is a blues in the key of B-flat by the great Thelonious Monk, and it's probably one of his better known tunes. It's called Blue Monk. Hope you like it. Blue Monk. A little bit of B-flat blues, because you can never go wrong with the B-flat blues. There we go. Hope somebody was able to play along with that out there. I'm going to get rid of that loop, excuse me. My good friend Henry Heilig, who I don't think has tuned in lately, but Henry used to get out his bass and play along with me sometimes. Oh my goodness. All kinds of people listening. Nice to have a bunch of you with me. Hey, Lewis. There's Lewis Forbes, keyboard player in Zeitgeist. If you check those links, if you read those notes down the side of the page, down near the bottom is a list of some of my favorite live streams and other people doing this kind of thing. One of the really interesting projects I'm involved with these days, and I've talked about a bit, is a project called Stream Cycle, which has just been gone through a bit of a revamp, and we were supposed to launch last week and had a bit of a crash and burn, but we should be going live next Wednesday. Anyway, Lewis, who's listening in, is the fantastic keyboard player in that band. It's pretty exciting. The brilliant Mike Kearney has developed a way for a bunch of us to play live together, but in different places on the internet. Something that a few people are trying to figure out, and it's not an easy thing to do. So, cheers to him, and thanks for tuning in, and to all the rest of you. Nice to see a bunch of you. Some happy birthday wishes. I always try to wish happy birthdays to people. There's a couple of Edinburgh friends, and in fact neighbors, who've got birthdays this week. The great Emma Smith, who's a fantastic bassist that I've had the privilege of working with back in the days when we could play live together. Emma's been part of an ensemble called Symphronica, run by my friend Ron Davis, which is the reason I first started coming to Edinburgh a number of years ago. Emma and I have played together doing that and a few other things, and I hope we're going to go for a walk next week. Emma, I don't know if you're tuning in. Good friend Julie Donald, who lives just around the corner. It's her birthday today, in fact. She was by earlier for a bit of a glass of wine on the doorstep, because we're not supposed to be mixing in each other's houses. My little sister Wren, my fabulous sister Wren Barrett, has a birthday tomorrow, and I want to wish her a happy birthday. Wren, you're probably not listening. Wren is a midwife and leads a very crazy life. It's got 2 young kids. I don't know if there's any chance you're tuning in. There is a dedication for Wren at the end of the show, so we'll save that for later. And one more, my very, very good friend Keith McNair, whom I believe I saw on the list there. Keith, thanks for tuning in. You're regularly here on a Friday. It was Keith's birthday this week. It struck me that just over a year ago, his kids were organizing a big birthday celebration for the first week of April, to celebrate a notable round number birthday that Keith was celebrating. And of course, the pandemic intervened and that party never happened. And I, for one, am still looking forward to it. Anyway, I asked Keith, Keith's going to get a couple of songs because Keith's a very, very, very special friend. Like, well, anybody who has a friend like that is pretty lucky, and I'm very lucky. So I'm going to do a couple of tunes, but I did message Keith earlier in the week and ask if he had any requests, and he asked for this one. This is a beautiful ballad by the Gershwin brothers, George and Ira Gershwin, which I'm going to play in the key of A-flat major, in case you're playing along. This is called Someone to Watch Over Me, kind of fitting for the way that Keith has looked after me in the last year. So happy birthday, Keith. Here's my version of Someone to Watch Over Me. Someone to watch over me. Thanks, Keith. Happy birthday to you. Didn't think to check and make sure no messages of bad sound or anything coming in. I hope this is working all right. I've had some internet connectivity issues this week. In fact, we had a bit of a trouble with Stream Cycle sound check on Wednesday because my internet wasn't working. So I got myself a new Ethernet cable, and I'm hoping that that it's going out all right to you. Thanks for listening. I mentioned I'm going to do 2 songs for Keith, my good friend. Keith not only is a great friend, but Keith is also a fantastic songwriter. I've spoken about him and this on numerous occasions. I'm going to do a tune that Keith wrote. It's a tune that I have done before. I did, I think, last November on the show. One of my favorite of the many, many tunes that Keith has written. But I thought I'd give it another shot. And couple of little adjustments. Lewis playing along. Fantastic. Okay, wee adjustment here. So this is a tune of Keith McNair's that I love to play and I love to try to sing. I'm going to try that now. This is called Forgiveness Waltz. I can get all my faffing about worked out here. Okay, here we go. Some hearts grow to care for more than they can bear. Some hearts grow so cold they are best left alone. One freezes and another heart tears. This is a love song we cling to. There are minds made so small they don't wonder at all. Their freedom from doubt says they've figured it out. So we follow their big bouncing balls. This is a lesson we sleep through. Are you sorry? Can you forgive me? Let all be forgiven for Auld Lang Syne. And if you're sorry and you forgive me, we'll swear to be better next time. While the ocean tides rise and the orchards crack dry, the landlords build homes with walls high on the hill, and the orphans of the virus abide. These are some fences we've mended, and we wring our hands and pray as we lurch past the graves. There are too many souls lost in so many holes, and we choose who will be saved. This is a judgment we render. Are you sorry? Can you forgive me? Let all be forgiven for Auld Lang Syne. And if you're sorry and you forgive me, we'll swear to be better next time. There are secrets I hold that will never be told. No, not even to you, though you might want me to. Sometimes some bits are best left untold. This is a meaning for lonesome. right? Will you stay through the night? Forgive what I can't say. Love me anyway. When the ghosts come, will you hold me tight? We are our hope for atonement. Are you sorry? Can you forgive me? That I'll be forgiven for Auld Lang Syne if you're sorry. And you forgive me. We'll swear to be better next time. We'll swear to be better next time. The Forgiveness Waltz by Keith McNair. Keith, sorry for messing up a couple of words there, but there you go. Ha. Last week was Bandcamp Friday, and a couple of you bought records of mine. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. I have a lot of regular listeners, and I think a whole bunch of you have bought my records over the time of this Live from Lockdown. I do appreciate that. Not sure that I'm doing anything I've recorded this week, but I really appreciate your support. And as always, even if it's not Bandcamp Friday, you can always go there. Bandcamp really is the best place to buy recorded music from people you know and people you don't. They don't take a huge cut out of the money that you pay, unlike Apple, iTunes, and Spotify and those kind of places. So I encourage you to check that out. My recordings are there. The link is, again, in the notes on the side of the Facebook page. But just go to Bandcamp and check it out. There's all kinds of great music there. And while you're at it, looking for that, if you're looking for your tracks for your own recording, guitar tracks, I'm set up to record here, doing a bit of teaching, doing all that kind of work online. So don't be afraid to get in touch if you're looking for anything like that. I'm, like everybody in this business, always looking for work. Mandolin time. Mandolin Yippers, people. There's Dave Lipsy. Thanks for tuning in, Dave and Linda. I played a hornpipe last week. I often talk about Fred Thompson, who I mentioned earlier, the Maxine Sullivan fan, and Catherine Nichol, the great trad fiddler here in Edinburgh, who have encouraged me to check out some of that traditional music and always telling me to start with the hornpipes. So I've been trying to explore a few hornpipes, and I raised the question last week about eighth notes, quavers, you would say here, and whether I should play them straight or swung. And thanks to Catherine for her reply I caught later on in the evening on my live stream, where she said, keep swinging those hornpipes. So in that spirit, I'm going to do another hornpipe. This is called the Fairies Hornpipe. I know nothing about where it comes. I got the music, as with many of these, from my friend Stuart Seidel in Vancouver, who sent me reams and reams of music that it's going to take me another year of Live from Lockdown to get through. And try to swing the eighths of the Fairies Hornpipe. Louise, if you're listening, it's in the key of G, like most of these tunes. I'm going to do a rubato version once through and find my way around it, and then see if I can do it somewhere up to speed. I hope you like it. Fairies Hornpipe. You can kind of picture the fairies dancing through the fields, at least if it's played right. My ongoing struggle is trying to find my way around this little instrument. Thank you very much for your patience with that. Tunings and fifths. That still messes me up every time. I'm going to mix things up a little bit. I'm going to do my weekly message of love a little early. I'm going to do 2 more tunes. I'm actually going to sing you a second tune tonight. I hope you don't mind. Let me get this out first, get my prop out. You know, my message of love starts, as it always does, with my request to all of you to keep wearing your masks. Please wear your mask. Please stay close to home. Schools are opening up here in Scotland, and things are opening up a bit, and there's rumors about the pubs starting to open up next month, and let's just hope that that works. Ontario, where I live the rest of the time, in Canada, tried some of that and is in a real mess these days, back to a really serious lockdown. And folks, we're not going to get through this pandemic if we don't keep working together and we don't get vaccinated and share the vaccines around. I wish the United States would share some of their vaccines. I'm amazed at how many of my friends from the US have had their second dose already. And I read today that Haiti has not administered 1 vaccine yet. So there's massive inequality we got to work with. But you also know, if you listen regularly, that I've been revisiting the principles of a just recovery that I talked a lot about last year. And I really want to try to keep alive as we work our way out of this pandemic. We try to work our way out. And I've each week been reminding us of one of the principles. Again, the link to all of these is in those notes on the side of the page. But this one, I realize when I hold these up, you probably can't read them. But this one says, uphold Indigenous rights and work in partnership with Indigenous peoples. A really important message for all parts of the world. For sure, in particular, I come from Canada, and Canada has got a long and shameful history of the way that we have worked, or not worked with, but rather worked against First Nation, the people of the First Nations, trampling on their rights, making it impossible for them to live. Compared to other Canadians, people of the First Nations still face comparatively poor health, lack of access to education, substandard and crowded housing and living conditions, unsafe drinking water. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago, about the ridiculous number of First Nations communities that don't have clean tap water to drink right across the country. Lower incomes, higher unemployment, higher incarceration, the list goes on and on. And we're not going to get anywhere as a human race if we don't learn to not only work with and support the people of the First Nations, but listen to what they have to teach us. And it strikes me that as we begin to try to build a recovery, hopefully a just recovery from the pandemic, and as we begin to realize again that even if we get out of this pandemic, we've still made a mess of the climate, and the climate needs a huge amount of attention, that by respecting and honoring and listening to the people who have lived closest to the land all around the planet, we might learn some things that we really need to learn to make this world a better place. There are so many specific issues related to people of the First Nations, Indigenous peoples around the world. I put a link to one, which is the West Moberly First Nation in the Peace River District in northern British Columbia. They've been fighting for years against treaty violations of various kinds, and particularly the Site C Dam, the third dam along the Peace River, which is going to flood huge parts of their traditional land, their traditional burial grounds, and once again disrespect the traditional rights of people who have been downtrodden for too long. There's a link where you can check out more about that and make a donation to that work in those notes, but it's not very hard to find ways to try to express some solidarity with the First Nations or with Indigenous people wherever they are. And that's my hope for us today. I think about building a recovery. And on that note, I'm going to play a song by a Canadian First Nations songwriter. She's lived in the United States for, I think, most of her life, but the fabulous Buffy Sainte-Marie is a great singer-songwriter, a First Nations woman from Saskatchewan in Canada originally. I've had the privilege of listening to a couple of times and actually playing an opening set for once, which was quite a treat. Buffy's an amazing, amazing singer-songwriter, still going. And I got a message from Steve Moses, one of my regular listeners. I don't know if Steve and Wilda are tuning in this time, but Stephen Wilda's son Sam is a good friend who lives here in Edinburgh and does a fantastic live stream every Saturday night. Again, you can check the link to his show. Starts at the same time as me, 9 o'clock this time, 4 o'clock in Toronto, 1 o'clock in the afternoon if you're on the west coast of Canada. But Sam's dad, Steve, is a great music fan and often sends me great stories about old jazz players and jazz tunes he's heard. But he sent me a great story about a trip to Austin, Texas, where he heard Buffy Sainte-Marie and asked for this great tune of hers. That his PS in his message was, "It's still as relevant now as it was then." Too true. This is a tune called Little Wheel, Spin and Spin. It's quite an amazing song. It's only got one chord, but very deep lyrics. So I'm going to set up a bit of a loop around that one chord and play along. And I hope you like it. Little Wheel, Spin and Spin by Buffy Sainte-Marie. Thanks to Steve Moses for the request. That didn't work so well, did it? Sorry about that. There we go. We'll do that again. Christmas, jingle bells, Christ is born and the devil's in hell. Hearts shrink, pockets swell, everybody know, nobody tell. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turn around and around. sins of Caesar's men, cry the pious citizens, the petty thief, the 5 and 10s. The big wheel turns around and around, little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turn around and around. Blame the fates, blame the Jews or your sister Kate. Teach your children how to hate, and the big wheel turns around and around. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turn around and around. Back on the weeds you sowed, silly sinful seeds you sowed. Add your straw to the camel's load, pray like hell when your world explode. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turn around and around. Fiddler say, later on the piper pay. Do-si-do, swing and sway, dead will dance on Judgment Day. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turn around and around. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turn around and around. Little Wheel, Spin and Spin, Buffy Sainte-Marie. Thanks for the request, Steve. Thanks for listening to that. All right. Clear up my various digital artifacts here. One more song. I'm going to call it a night or a day or an afternoon, whatever it is. Switch guitars again to get this one started. A little bit of extra looping because there was a loop on that one, but as usual, I'm gonna finish up with a longer loop. I always say this: if you want to fill up your drink for the last tune, now's the chance. This will take me a minute to set up. This is a special dedication to my little sister. She's not really that little, but my youngest sister, Wren Barrett, who has been another fabulous support to me, particularly in the last year. I live with Wren and her family when I'm in Toronto, and which is, I thought I'd be back there by now this spring, but international travel regulations wouldn't allow that. So but happy for her hospitality. She gets my mail and sends me photos of and scans of things that come in the mail for me every once in a while. Hugely appreciated. She's couldn't do much better for a sister than my sister Wren. So I also sent her a message and asked what she might like for a birthday request, and she came back with a number of good suggestions and ran a couple of them I just couldn't get together. I'm sorry about that, but I am going to do one that was on your list, and this is something that I did a couple of months ago, a tune by John Lennon, but I'm going to do it again today. I hope those of you who are regular listeners don't mind the repeat. This is my version of John Lennon's Imagine, with a very special birthday dedication tomorrow to my sister Ren. Happy birthday. Thanks for listening. Thanks again for tuning in. So great to see so many friends here. I really appreciate you listening. I miss you. I love you. I will see you soon.